All right, all right. We are in fact live. Welcome one, welcome all to the Wrestling Council, brought to you each and every week by our good friends at the Outright Geekery Podcast Network. You can, of course, visit them at outrightgeekery.com. We are here. This is the 29th episode of the Wrestling Council. I host sometimes, and then my good buddy on the right there, Boogie Bentley from the S&B Network. It will be on his channel, of course, next week. You can check out the Outright Geekery, the S&B Network on my channels list here, and subscribe to my good friend Boogie Bentley. And then, we can get it in on his channel at the same bad time next week. But Boogie Bentley, how are you, sir?
Fantastic. I'm ready for bed, man.
No, already.
So we're gonna get it in though. Like you said, we're gonna get it in. I'm directing Bob in the live chat. I didn't get a link. Antonio sent it like 3 hours ago. Scroll up, bro. Scroll up.
I put it out there already.
I was like, okay. I was like, wait a minute. I put it in there.
Hey, should we say now, if this stream gets shut down, go find us on Periscope or Facebook Live, Akari Press,
or on Twitch. On Twitch, they're all at Akari Press. Because we've been getting flagged. Until I have anyway. I know they love Boogie, but they
love the Wrestling Council, so they haven't touched it yet. So we should be okay.
Don't jinx us.
Just putting it out there, though. We will stay live.
We are not stopping the show. We're going to keep going. Comic Book Bob, the link is in the private chat, brother. It's in there.
I put it in there.
Okay, yeah, but I mean it
was already there, obviously.
Yeah, it was.
Here I am.
I wasn't even there. It was on. Okay.
I have a lot more time to pay attention to Twitter.
I noticed you're like yelling at people.
I am yelling at people.
I love it.
I like to love, though, so
Oh, okay. Here's Comic Book Bob. Comic Book Late. Comic Book Late. How are you, Comic Book Late?
Thanks for joining us, Bob.
Yes.
Sorry about that, guys. It was actually doing something weird. It was actually shunting me into the other stream that I did the other day with Jimmy Reyes.
Okay.
Schemes and scams.
Schemes and scams. I know. Like I said, I put it in there. I was like,
no, it's my fault, brother. My fault.
I was like, I thought black folks were supposed to be late, but Comic Book Bob is he's on CP time. But Comic Book Bob, how are you?
I'm good, man. We've got some weird stuff to talk about this week, man.
Well, yeah, we definitely do. But I did kind of, because like you were in the chat when this kind of thing. So let me do Yule. How are you, Yule? Big Blue Yule.
I'm wonderful. I'm ready to talk some wrestling. You saw some wrestling, right?
I am as well. But okay, before we begin today's podcast, there was a small amount of controversy on our WrestleMania stream. I brought shame and dishonor.
Shame
to the. We doing the Game of Thrones.
Shame.
Shame. I brought shame and dishonor to the four horsemen, known also as the Wrestling Council, when I made some very, very sexist remarks.
Horrible.
About number one, day one WrestleMania pregnant Stephanie McMahon versus day two non-pregnant Stephanie McMahon, and also the fact that the Miz would impregnate Maurice, which I still believe. I'm taking betting odds on all of that. And some weirdo soy beta male started arguing with people that I was just a pig and I was saying stuff and I'm fat and out of shape and how dare I talk about somebody's weight and I was fat and all this. And so which I thought was hilarious. I was trying to engage with him, but he was engaging with everyone else and wasn't engaging with me for some reason.
Did you notice he pulled the old quote tweet? So only his followers would join him.
Yeah.
Everybody was disagreeing with him.
I was loving it.
Yeah.
I was loving it. I love it, but well, first of all, this is actually a fake apology because this is who I am. I'm sorry. I like to say outrageous shit, and one thing on any of these podcasts I participate, whether it's this one or Sexy Party or whatever, they know that when I speak, I'm being the real me. I'm all killer, no filler. This is who I am, and if you watch the Wrestling Council, you're always going to get the real Antonio. So,
Antonio, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
were you denigrating those ladies? I mean, you weren't slamming them or anything, were you?
No, I actually, as I mentioned, I was actually disappointed when I realized that I thought Stephanie, I was like, oh, she's going to have another baby. That's not me. It's like, I was like, oh, she's pregnant. And she's, just not ready to tell everybody yet. And I thought that was kind of cool. But
as far as Ms. and Maurice, man, like, why wouldn't he keep putting babies in her?
Well,
yes.
Like I said, I have open bets that the Miz will have Maurice pregnant within the next year or
10
so.
seconds.
Yeah, because he's definitely partaking in that, which he freely admits, and he should. Miz and Morrison. Hey.
Oh.
Miz and Morrison. And Poop, yes.
Well, okay, so this show is gonna this one's gonna be a little weird.
Yes,
this is the second wrestling council we've done this week, and because we've already done the WrestleMania show, which was on the SMB network, and it's also on my playlist here. It's kind of, hey, can we go in? The SmackDown was the WrestleMania SmackDown. It was awful, and then so we went into WrestleMania. Obviously, we discussed all that, but then now. So we've gone to Raw now. Raw. Let's talk about Raw. How did Nia was anybody happy that she returned and has a new finisher and all that?
I was surprised that she returned. I mean, they had said that there was going to be returns, but I don't know. I think I'd save it for a crowd.
Not only that,
people care.
Was it just me, or did she look? She did not look happy that she was there,
She looked like I don't have my team back there to.
Well, it's got to be awkward.
Look happy,
and I'll make a blanket statement first across the board. Everything we're seeing the impact of the coronavirus. It is affecting. You're getting a lot of job matches. Why? Because you're getting NXT talent that is local because certain people can't travel. You go to AEW, you're getting people that QT Marshall is training because they're using his gym. We're seeing it impact the wrestling business across the board, but it's got to be weird, man, when you've not wrestled in forever. It's kind of like Edge. You want that moment, that return moment. You visualize it as a professional wrestler when you're out with an injury or whatever, and you're just focusing on that return, and you're visualizing the crowd, the sounds. There's nothing like it, dude. And the biggest crowd I've ever wrestled in was probably a couple thousand people. There is nothing like hearing that music and going through that curtain, and then you're going through to an empty crowd. It's got to be weird making your return with nobody there. Has to be.
I have a question for you guys, because I think this all leads into this thought I had. I've been reading Bruce Mitchell talk about people bitching about something on like Twitter and stuff. Bruce Mitchell has been going on about how these wrestlers should not be working. Like it should just be shut down, just like any real sport. And I was wondering what you guys thought about this. I mean,
there's no reason
it does seem awkward without the crowds. I will say that, but sometimes you get moments of brilliance. I think the NXT showed that this week, I think.
Sure. But when you're looking at it from a health standpoint, it should be shut down.
Yeah.
You're talking about going to the grocery store and you got to stay 6 feet away from the person checking out in front of you. But we're going to get there and grapple with a referee and everything else.
No, dude, trust me. I had to drop, I took like 80 packages to the post office and I dropped them off. As I was walking up to I bought me a lemonade. I always do the same thing. I dropped the thing off and I feel bad going in there and not buying anything. And I was like, well, I love lemonade. It's like my favorite drink. So I was like, oh, they have overly priced lemonades in here. And they're like $3 for a little bottle of this lemonade, but I buy one. And so I dropped my stuff off in my little dolly and drop it off in their little postage box. And then I roll up to the counter. And the chick, she's seen me in there a few times. She's got the surgical mask on like Michael Jackson. And I walked up to the counter. She jumped back. She freaked out. She was like, whoa, you get too close. And I was like, whoa. I mean, I hear the social distancing thing and we're supposed to stay like 6 feet from each other. When I walked up to the counter with my stuff, she jumped back like I was about to rob her or something. And I was like, why is she freaking out? And then she was like, hold on. And then I had to put my credit card and stuff in. I was like, whoa, it was uncomfortable. But then I realized, I was like, oh, we're in the,
we're in post.
Yeah.
See,
normally, if you win it, normally if you go in with a bandana around your face, Like that's when they jump back. And now if you
Are you
don't
allowed
have
to
one,
in the bank? Is it okay to anyway?
everywhere, bro,
It
everywhere.
was
Everywhere.
weird. You know, my cousin drives for FedEx.
Oh, I saw that today.
Dude, yeah, that's my cousin Rodney, man. He been working for FedEx for like 24 years, 25 years. He been working for them for a minute, you know, down there in Huntsville. And I mean, he's got like 3 kids and stuff, you know. I mean, he gotta make that money for his family, but he, you know, that's how they delivering the packages now. They got the mask on, and he gotta get out there and drive that truck, man. So you know, I definitely understand that. But it was strange because I was like, I'm literally just walking up to the counter, and she freaked out and jumped back. She did not want me any closer to, and I realized, I was like, I wasn't even coughing or anything. If I had been coughing, but I mean, this is what it is now. So we are. There is definitely a public health crisis. So even in close quarters with these wrestlers, I can understand there might be some hesitancy for them to all be, you know, in the same spot like that, you know.
What's nuts though is they're talking. I mean, we're all of us live. We're all shelter in place, right? I know Yule is. Me and Antonio are. Yeah, Bob is too. So shelter in place. You don't go out unless it's essential, right? But somehow, some way, Vince McMahon, maybe he reached out to WWE Hall of Famer Donald Trump and said, "Hey, bro, I got to run shows," because he's going back to the Performance Center this week and taping more TV.
Mm-hmm.
How is this happening? Also, Impact Wrestling coming to where me and Antonio live in Tennessee and gonna record more TV. How is this happening? Why can the wrestling business just continue to roll on like nothing's going on?
Because it's still, even if you have a multi-million-dollar television contract, it's still carny.
It is.
It will never not be. Like I rationalize, like I can rationalize why it's happening because Vince McMahon let Owen died and then he kept wrestling. You know,
but
paid
you're
out
going
like
above.
I mean, we had an
$20,
Eddie Guerrero celebration the night after. You know,
Yeah,
we're going above and beyond Vince, though. That's what I don't understand.
Yeah, somebody on ESPN, they made a comment. They said that everybody else is taking this thing seriously except for Vince McMahon, Tony Khan, and Dana White.
But Dynamite is actually suspending tapings, aren't they?
No,
they said they were going.
I don't know.
They said
no,
they're going
to. They've got some in the can, from what I understood.
Yeah.
I don't know. They've taped a few weeks in advance, from what I understood.
But all I've heard is
they have
Impact.
healthcare.
All I've heard this week is that Impact and WWE are taping more. Has anybody? But Bob, have you heard more?
I did see one source claim that AEW once they get done, once they air all this stuff, that if they're hoping that's going to be lifted so that they can, so they are scheduling it to do more taping, but they don't know yet. But I do know that they have at least they've got like at least 3 weeks worth of stuff taped.
They have 20,
and depending on how they chop up WrestleMania and all that stuff.
Well, hey, Vince McMahon was listening this week because on Raw they didn't show any old matches, but they cheat the system, right? Boogie complains you're not giving us enough matches, so they have 72 job matches, and it doesn't count when you have the Street Profits versus Garza and Theory. And then you turn that into Bianca Belair versus Zelina Vega, and then you turn that into a 6-person.
I hated that.
That does not count. You can't have 3 matches with the same people.
They'll do that every once in a while. It's the
most WWE thing ever. Usually it's 2 matches, not 3.
Right.
But I mean,
unless you got to take Chris Jericho's belt or something like that.
Oh, dude, he was so good on commentary this week. I mean, just be honest.
Yeah, Jericho was funny. Siobhan or Stevon or whatever.
I don't think when you have NXT, WWE has always got a chance to be important, and they won ratings this week too.
Barely.
Yeah. But,
barely.
Well, that doesn't really count when you're advertising it as TakeOver. That was not TakeOver.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Taco TakeOver.
Yeah. But I will say this. I do think that NXT put on a hell of a show this week.
Yes.
Antonio, get us back in order. Get us back.
All right.
Well,
Raw. Wait. Right before you get there.
I mean, we're doing Raw.
Right before Raw, the WWE today announced that they were going to convene a meeting with their shareholders and then immediately adjourn it for a later date. And did you hear that? I just read that one today.
I did not.
Yeah. So like Vince is like, hello, see ya. Just like that. And
I'm assuming it would have been a virtual meeting anyway, right? Like
I thought they all were like over phones and stuff like that.
Yeah, I would. They're not getting together because travel and all that.
But yeah, they have virus concerns, so they said they're not going to do it.
Hey, yeah, watch the trigger word. The C word can get you.
Oh, I think YouTube lifted that. That's why.
Because I was like, yeah.
No, I wouldn't have said it, but I think they lifted that.
I was like, yeah, I'm getting nervous. I was like, uh-oh.
I saw somebody in the chat earlier talking about Mania. And again, if you want our Mania review, go check out the video on my channel, SMB Network. It's still up. It's doing pretty good, actually.
Matter of fact, go on my channel, hit the playlist. I've got all the episodes of the Wrestling Council, and that would have been that would be the WrestleMania recap number 28. So yeah, it was just from every episode of the Wrestling Council was there, and obviously it's from the SMB network, but it's on my playlist. You can check it out.
Somebody was talking about Becky and Shayna, and we were talking about where do they go from here? How do you rebuild Shayna Baszler? Becky cut the promo, 1 year as champ. Shayna knows where to find me, blah, blah, blah. And then Shayna's promo, the thrill of victory, the agony of defeat, over and over and over. Just kept repeating it. And then promised Becky the agony of her defeat, which it's dumb to me, but they're going to go right back to it. Back to it.
Yeah. Let me say this because Meltzer talked about the Shayna Baszler, Becky Lynch match. He wrote about it, talking about the reason they did the finish the way it was to keep Shayna at least, because it's like Becky tricked her into a win or whatever. So it keeps heat on Shayna as opposed to just letting, Becky do her finisher on her or something like that.
I don't agree with that.
I don't either.
It's different if you cheat to win, but that's not cheating. You beat her clean in the center of the ring. Yeah, there's no questions about it.
Do a roll up on her. I mean,
that's like saying, well, he did catch me with the right hand and knock me out, but
but how many matches have we seen where that's the way they put the match over? Where like how many times have we seen a Brock match where it's a fluke win? That's what, but it still ends up having the same impact as getting like Boogie said, it's getting clean in the ring. So. I love
the finish, but not to build Shayna Baszler. Obviously, it killed her. But Vince doesn't care. They'll come right back to it, and it doesn't matter.
Well, one thing I loved, Jim Cornette. Jim Cornette released his WrestleMania review podcast on Tuesday. It was incredible. It was I mean, he tore them a new one. He liked pretty much the same all the matches I liked. And
you like the Undertaker match?
He liked the Boneyard match. But he is critical. He thinks Vince is trying to go into like Hollywood movie type territory. But he thought at least that AJ and Undertaker told a story during the match, and it was good. He hated the Goldberg Braun Strowman. He thought that was a joke.
Yep.
He thought the Morrison triple threat ladder match, he thought it was okay, but he also thought it was stupid to have a tag team match with 3 people.
I think pretty much everybody said that.
He also was critical of the Seth Rollins Kevin Owens match, even though he said, Kevin can work and he's lost weight since he was working for us in Ring of Honor.
That's horseshit.
He thought
only when he comes back from like an injury.
But Kevin Owens, they were always, and they said Vince had problems with Kevin Owens, especially when he first got there, talking about, hey, we want you here, but you need to lose a few pounds.
You know why Cornette hates Kevin Owens? Because Kevin Owens is stubborn. He's stubborn, dude. He will not back down. And that's why Cornette hates him, because Cornette comes into Ring of Honor, thinks he's going to do what he wants, and Kevin Owens is the top guy. And then he sends him home for 6 months. This is a whole other podcast that I could go on this rant about. But Steen did a great DVD. I'm looking at my bookshelf. I don't have that great of eyesight. What's it called? Do you know what I'm talking about?
He's getting old. I don't actually.
It's almost like a shoot interview where Kevin Steen goes through all of the drama of Jim Cornette.
With Jim Cornette.
And they they weren't going to re-release it, but then once he made it to WWE, they knew, hey, this is a cash grab, so they re-released it. Oh, it's Steen Rising, Hell Rising, something. Just go look, dude. It's so great.
Cornette said, even though I loved it and I raved about it on the WrestleMania, but when Kevin Owens jumped off the WrestleMania sign on the silver, he was like, "Why would you take a high risk bump like that with 0 people in the building?" He's like, "I understand if you're trying to, you got 40, 80,000 people there or whatever, and you're trying to entertain that crowd. It's a live crowd, and you're doing that spot." He said, "But there's nobody there." And
because it's going out to millions of people.
I get it, but so I'm sitting there going, it's WrestleMania. You don't want to wrestle house show style. It's WrestleMania. This is they'll be watching these videos 10, 15 years from now. So
it's called Kevin Steen Hell Rising, but I see it on Amazon for $75, so it must not be available anymore.
I loved, I was raving about. I was like, man, when he jumped off that WrestleMania sign. But Jim Cornette was very critical of that, and he loved the Becky Lynch match. He didn't like the finish. He thought that they should have. If they were going, he felt like they buried Shayna after all that work they had done building her and stuff.
Sure, it's what everybody says.
Yeah. And then he mentioned the Daniel Bryant and what's his name? Who I am?
Sami
Zayn. Sami Zayn. Man, he was like he loved it. Sami Zayn proved that he could work and all this kind of thing, and so
he's proved it. That was not Jim Cornette.
He was, he used to wear the mask. He was whatever
El Generico, and he was amazing then too.
Yeah, and he
Olay!
Some people have been upset with Cornette over the years because they thought he was going to go after Zayn, and he was like, no, when we had him, he was good, but he was doing stupid shit. And so he's like that. He said that man proved he could work. If anybody is critical of him, that you could look at that footage, and he was incredible.
I think he's gotten even better since he took the mask off because his facial expressions.
Oh, okay.
What's
I
Brand?
got my copy of Brand. Love you, big humble. Well, hello. All right, that's awesome.
Calling you fat, Antonio.
What's Brand, Antonio?
It's nothing. It's a horrible book that apparently.
Come on.
If he isn't in sell mode, he ain't gonna goddamn sell a book.
I'm like, well,
I'll do it. You want me to pull it up? I'll sell it.
Hey, Boogie, what's Brand?
Okay.
Oh no. Mine's in the other room.
Oh, it's right here. Oh my god, it's a comic book. Look at this.
Yeah.
A comic
beautifully
book.
illustrated, great
I'm very
characters.
proud of the comic book, by the way. But
fun story.
Kane White's the artist.
Can you tell me when that second printing of this first issue will be available on the Brand Way of the Gun campaign?
Oh well, I hopefully within the next few days I've gotten some more flats on that new cover that Kanan did for the second printing. I'm excited about that, and we're going to add some new tiers. We're going to have some sketch covers for sale and all this kind of thing.
Oh my god, am I going to back it for a third time?
Oh Lord,
a third time.
Oh Lord, Jesus! But we're adding things. Things are, like I said, we're over 16,000, over 300 backers. Sold over 100 copies of the Fame book, which is awesome. People have really been supporting the campaign. So
you're on that climb. You're on that climb.
Yeah, we're on the climb. My buddy Ethan is, doing his thing, and he's been plugging it repeatedly on his channel, and it's fantastic. So yeah, I'm very happy with Brand, and obviously the link to Way of the Gun is in the description, and obviously mods can drop it in the link if anybody is interested in comics. But again, this is the Wrestling Council, so I didn't want to take over and shield comics and all that good stuff.
Hey, if somebody mentions it in the chat, you take advantage.
And
I can bring us right back to wrestling. How about on Raw, Aleister Black versus Apollo Crews?
Wow.
I'm telling you guys, Apollo Crews is so good.
He's still good.
I'm glad.
Hey, Vince.
I can't. Yeah, seriously, it's like, hey Vince, now that half your freaking roster is refusing to work, maybe take a second chance. Look at this guy that you were like, I just don't care.
Did you guys notice that Raw seemed a little, I don't know, darker than normal? Like they only put.
What are you saying, you?
I'm saying they only scheduled the black wrestlers to come to work. Is basically what I'm saying.
Because they said that they were immune to the virus. I thought.
Oh God, come on, Boogie.
I saw that. What
Clip that at 20.
Leroy from the comic book movie said that, not me, and he's black. I can repeat it.
Wow.
Man.
Okay, well, I didn't know that. Jeez.
Yeah.
That's just what I heard.
Own your race, Boogie.
I was trying to suggest that Vince was, just booking certain people.
Well, there's been rumors of weird racial stuff within the WWF, especially like that New Jack. I've seen a bunch of New Jack shoot interviews, and he had a tryout with WWE, and then they canceled it. They told him not to talk to Vince. He told his story on one of me. Someone told him, "Hey, when Vince comes up, just don't speak to him. He doesn't like to talk to you guys and all that kind of stuff." And New Jack,
wow,
hell with that. And so Vince walked up, "Hey, I'm New Jack," blah, 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 shook his hand, and Vince was like, "I just got to talk to you." And then he said he went back to the locker, and there was a list. There were, it was the order sheet or whatever of when everybody was going to come out. And he said he went back there, and someone came through and drew a line through his name, and they paid him for the day. Even though he came out there, he said they just paid
nothing.
And then they was like, well, you can go home. Your match has been canceled. It is because I was like, so just talk. Or what was the Titus Worldwide when he
yeah.
Oh, when he went to push Vince or something.
Yeah,
he got like a
so awkward
60-day suspension.
So,
trying to be funny, and he gets
trying to be like jovial. They were like, weren't they like celebrating Vince for his birthday or something like that?
Yeah, and
which he hates.
And then there was obviously weird racial things with the Mark Henry and my man from the Freebirds, Michael P.S. Hayes.
P.S. Hayes, man, that's legendary.
Wasn't Michael Hayes more a problem where he felt more familiar than he really was?
Well,
I'm not.
No.
Excuse me.
He said. Someone asked him in a shoot interview about that. He loves Michael P.S. Hayes because knew him back in the NWA WCW days, and then obviously P.S. Hayes comes to WWE, and he comes over to WWE and the whole deal. But he said no. He said thing with Michael feels like he's a black guy. He grew up around black people, so yeah, he said the N-word, but he don't mean it like he mean it like we mean it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So they give him a ghetto pass.
Yeah, he gave him the ghetto pass. He said Mike wasn't racist. He said, yeah, he said the N-word, but he mean it like us. He thinks he's a black guy. And so when he talked to Mark Henry and said, "I'm a bigger N-word than you are," and then Mark Henry was like,
come on, you can't say that. I don't care what you think. You can't say that.
You know what? They'd all been drinking, and Michael was like, "I'm a bigger N-word than you are." Boom. And Mark Henry felt some type of way about that, and then all they did was suspend him for 30 days or whatever. And then he had some kind of weird racial incident with Bobby Lashley, and instead of removing him after that, they moved Bobby Lashley to ECW. And he was pretty much buried at that point, even though they let him be the champ, but then the show got canceled and the whole deal. So the WWE has a weird, they have weird racial stuff that happens that doesn't seem to get addressed sometimes.
Vince is racist. It's obvious Vince is racist. It's very clear. Very clear.
I feel like, isn't he like, I don't know. He's a strange guy too, yeah. And then we were looking at that the WrestleMania where they're doing America the Beautiful, and we were saying it then. A lot of black people are the ones that are singing for him. It always seems like these are people that I want to sing to me. Classics, Little Richard, classics. The greatest performers I've ever. Ray Charles and all that stuff. But this is like Vince's kind of thing.
I've never looked at it that way, and now my mind is blown.
Yeah. Well, either that or he has a healthy
thing to me.
It's one or the other.
It's like Vince is the plantation owner. He's like, come on in, bring him in from the field so they could serenade me.
I kind of feel that way sometimes. Yeah.
It was an old documentary, and I guess it was somebody, one of the slave masters or something. They were writing in their journal, and they were talking about when the Negroes would be out in the field and singing and harmonizing and stuff. And he liked the happy slaves picking cotton, singing songs.
Who doesn't, man? Those are the great things, right?
Is this shit? Like, what is this?
Is this the clip? Is this the clip for this?
No, it was earlier. I already said it earlier.
Wait, which one?
When we started this racism stuff.
Racism.
That'll be great when they call all four of us
about Vince, because, like I said, Bruce Mitchell has been railing not only about WWE and their continuing to work, but their Vince's continual racism.
But as far as Raw,
Jill's trying to bring us back. We need her in the green room producing.
As far as Raw, as a show is concerned, what do you guys think?
It was a filler.
Yeah, it was.
That's the word of the week, man. Filler.
Yeah,
even
filler.
AEW across the board. Filler.
NXT very strong to me.
NXT had some filler too.
Yeah, they did, but they had two
really good matches.
NXT
and
takeover.
AEW had one also. And they built a fake one also with the whole best friends. So at least they had a couple matches that mattered, you know.
What was the deal with the Drew McIntyre after the show last night? Like, I kept seeing that he had a match 20 minutes after he wrestled Brock, but I thought it meant real time. And then they work it into the angle where he wrestled Big Show. Why? What is? Are they plugging his? I was gonna say, are they plugging his Netflix show? Is that why? Has anybody watched that? Has anybody watched it?
Urkel is the co-star on there.
I really want to watch it. I love
Jaleel White.
Yeah, Jaleel White is his neighbor, but
man, I know he's on The Masked Singer now. I've been thinking he was on The Masked Singer, but it's always something either Fox or WWE related, or often I should say. Like Gronkowski last week.
$1 million deal with Fox though, so yeah, they let him cross promote.
They even have a segment on The Masked Singer where it's called the SmackDown. Oh. It is like
they've been crossover with the NFL, WWE with NFL stars and all that. They was like, hey, we spent millions of dollars, so I understand. Their thought process on that of trying to cross pollinate, and because obviously their biggest thing is their NFL shows. So if you can get like Gronk, that's the whole thing about having Gronk come in, because he's as a part timer, he's going to do big events and doing all. Although he's goofier than a pet coon, as JR.
Oh my God!
Wait, when was that?
Yeah, it's just I've heard him say that a few times on podcasts, goofier than a pet coon. But I was like, I love that, but I mean, Jim Cornette can't stand Gronkowski. He calls him Ron Gronkowski.
He's horrible. He's an idiot.
Yeah,
it's terrible, man.
He loved that high spot that Gronk did off the balcony there. He loved that. He thought that was.
Oh my God! But Brian Caraway is right, man. He said that match, as weird as it was, that match against Big Show was better than the match against Brock.
It just made no sense. Made no sense.
Yeah.
I'm just going to bring a ref out and all this. I've not been on TV in forever, and now I'm going to challenge for the title, and I'm going to bring a referee with me. And
stupid. There was only one other thing about Raw that I was kind of like wanted to know what you guys' thoughts was, and that's the Cedric Alexander Ricochet tag team.
The match wasn't that great, but
they need more time together. They need more time together.
Do you think it's a good idea to put the two of them together, though?
I think that they can click. They're both great wrestlers. I've said it a million times on here.
Of color.
I love Cedric Alexander, and if this is the way that he gets a chance to go out and perform every week, then let's do it, because I love that guy. He's so good. Nice guy too. I told you guys the story when I met him. Super nice guy.
And he's married to who?
He's married
Big
to
Swole.
Swole.
Whoa.
Swole.
Swole. Swole. Swole.
Has she been on? She hadn't been on AEW.
Well, come
Thank
on.
God.
I mean, we have the whole
she's horrible.
That's the best thing to come out of the coronavirus.
I did watch AEW. So
oh my God, dude!
That's the clip.
That's the clip. Yeah,
35.
I meant every word of it too.
Oh my God! But I think she said she had some kind of a a medical issue that might be the reason why she's not doing it.
Oh well, way to bring us down, Bob. Thanks.
Well, no, from her past though.
Don't give me reality.
Dealt with for years. But
that's it. Seth Rollins versus a jobber. Nia Jax. I do like Perezzo though.
Oh yeah, like, sure you do.
She got squashed.
I don't care how good she wrestles.
Squashed.
Squash.
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 Squash. Squash.
So okay. So let's move to Wednesday.
Let's move to my favorite day of the week.
We're gonna do Dynamite, then NXT last.
I didn't watch it actually. You tell me about it.
You didn't watch what?
Dynamite.
You didn't?
I don't always watch it. Is
I watched
it good?
No,
I'm sorry.
They,
oh
you know,
my gosh, Jill, do you
Hardy
want to come on? We'll get rid of you.
She didn't watch that.
Yeah, Matt Hardy shot. You know, he's starting to shoot segments from the welcome to the Hardy compound. Vanguard 1, bring me the
shirt.
Oh, they showed that on. Okay,
yes, it is a dumpster fire.
He said the shirt from the whole ass. That is Jericho.
Was that a dumpster that was burning?
No, it was.
That shirt was burning. It looked like a little bowl.
It was because the shirt was only this big.
Yeah, he said it was literally a dumpster
when
fire.
he brought him the shirt, it was his shirt. It wasn't the shirt.
Right.
I love that Hardy's like he was for some reason in a hot tub with leather pants.
Yeah, dude.
Jericho addressed that on Twitter.
Oh, God.
It was pretty damn funny though. But yeah, dude, how good was Jericho on color though, man?
What I liked about him is he's still being true to himself, right? Throwing out the jokes and the heel comments, but at the same time, he's doing the job of a commentator. He's pitching to the matches coming up. He's putting over the talent. He's putting over Britt Baker. He's putting over Lance Archer. Like he is doing his job as a commentator. Cody was so uncomfortable, whereas Jericho felt natural with Schiavone.
Jericho knows how to talk.
Schiavone.
I mean,
oh yeah, natural.
He you know, the thing about Jericho is that he will sell even if he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah. And he did that a lot. He did that a lot.
Yeah, dude, bring it up like do you know what would happen if they searched me? They find a fork. They find a fork, brass knuckles.
Yeah, that was great.
He even got excited towards the end of the Cody Rhodes match, you know, in Cody's defense in a way, you know, like I'm into this, you know, that type of thing. I thought it was
I'll
cool.
use a fork to shank a bitch.
Am I the only one digging Lance Archer? I'm digging.
I like it, man. Dude. I do like him, dude. I know you guys are gonna give me crap about this. Go, you can watch the first day of Wrestle Kingdom for free. Go watch his match. Go watch his match.
I was gonna say Impact.
Shut up. Go watch his match. Go watch Lance Archer's match with John Moxley, and you'll see what he can do.
Right here, Bob.
I like
he's large. He's a big dude, and he's kind of one of those meaty dudes that AEW needs.
Yeah,
someone that looks like a bruiser.
He's definitely got the size, but they're like giving him a guy like the other week. Didn't he wrestle Marco Stunt or something? They're giving him like small. And I was like, and they gave. I know Brody Lee's getting ready to wrestle Marco Stunt. And I'm like,
but again, it's they're hurting because of everything that's going on.
Yeah,
they have limited guys.
Yeah, no Bucks, no SCU.
But it doesn't bother me because you're building Lance Archer. That's when you do a job match. You don't put somebody that's established against a jobber. That makes no sense. And a lot of people don't like the word jobber, enhancement talent, whatever you want to call it.
Jobber.
I love that they opened Dynamite with Jake Roberts. I thought it was a great promo.
Great promo.
I loved because the whole time looking at the tournament, I'm like, is Cody going to freaking put over Sean Spears? Because he's always putting guys over. And I'm like, no, we all want Cody and Lance Archer in the finals. But Jake is bringing reality and touching on it in the promos. Is Cody going to slip on that banana peel? Is that what he's using insider terms and all that? And he just sucks you in, man. He's so good on it. And he talks like this. He doesn't feel the need to talk loud because when you talk quiet and you continue to speak in this tone, people listen versus when you get excited and let me tell you something, brother, it's just the same. But Jake Roberts just sucks you in, man.
He's always had that real deliberate cadence to what he's saying.
Yeah. And he makes you listen to what he's saying.
Oh, the way they opened the show, I loved it. I was like, that's money. I was like, Jake sitting there. I was like, okay, this is
He didn't
perfect.
look like he was risking his life either. Being old and
Did you hear that?
Well, they're not having him take bumps, which is awesome.
Yeah, they
Well,
said
it does suck that he's not there. It does suck, but hey, let him talk.
It's good
fine.
that way.
Someone
Lead
said
in the
that,
show like that.
Someone said that DDP kicked Jake out of his house because he was doing shows.
Yeah,
and he didn't want to bring in like.
Whoa, Jake still lives there. Have you guys seen the resurrection of Jake the Snake?
Oh, I think it's on Amazon Prime. It was on Netflix.
Yeah, it is
on Amazon now.
I bought it on Amazon. I don't know. Is it free now? Is it free now?
When I watched it, it was free, but I don't know if it's still free.
If it's not, buy it. It is.
What is it called?
The resurrection
of
Jake the Snake.
The resurrection of Jake the Snake. Roberts,
it's where he basically goes with DDP and checks in, and it's. I mean, how many times has the guy been to rehab?
Yeah. How many times has he been resurrected?
Yeah.
No, but this time's different. You can see a difference, and I think we're still seeing that difference.
Yeah. He's DDP's like, dude, you're on something. I know you're on something. It's like the whole thing, and Paige never gave up on him, but yeah, that
when he was at the airport barefoot.
Yeah,
he's like, I only had one beer, and he's like, Jake, you're walking barefoot through the airport. I'm not an idiot. Get in the car. So good. It's worth watching.
Oh yeah. I thought it was brilliant. I mean, the best thing I thought Jake Snake done. Well, obviously it was a tragedy, but beyond the mat. Beyond the mat is.
I don't even know if that was his bottom of the barrel, but it's probably pretty close.
Well, threatening, not to do the show that was advertised for ECW unless they got him an 8-ball. Oh, yeah.
I think his bottom of the barrel though was probably it's an indie show that was it was on the Resurrection when he came in drunk and was like trying to fight the guy. And he couldn't stand up. Right. That might have been his bottom of the barrel.
I need to watch that again. It was
so
good.
It
was great.
But
seeing him be seemed like he got healthier at the end.
It's a pretty authentic documentary.
Yeah,
it's great. It's brilliant.
But what did you guys think of the Britt Baker Hikaru Shida match?
It was real, right?
Britt Baker's starting to grow on me. I love her.
Might have been her best match.
She's getting better.
Might have been her best match she's had so far.
And I'll tell you what, man, when you take a bump like that and you keep going, that's pretty. That was pretty damn impressive.
Let's talk about Hollywood's comment. Who is Cody going to wrestle in the second round of the TNT tournament? I think Darby too, because they kind of built to that, right?
Yeah. When he hit him.
Well, they don't shy away from the face-face matchup on AEW,
which they shouldn't.
No.
Yeah, but when there's a real crowd, sometimes it doesn't work.
It makes it tough, but
it does.
They kind of built that with Darby punching him. A couple of weeks ago or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. When they lost that tag match,
it'd be interesting to see the live crowd response because Darby Allin's over, man.
Yeah,
I know Cody's the most over guy in wrestling, but Darby's pretty dang over.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised. Like, dude, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they put that new title on him.
Nope, it's going to be Cody.
I think it is too, but
it has to be. I'm going to be pissed if it's not.
If they pulled a swerve and it was Darby, I wouldn't be like, oh my god, I can't believe that. I'd be like,
I'd be mad.
Okay, I would too because I
want Cody.
Cody needs to be in the he needs to be in the title scene.
But is Cody gonna once again do the deed and put Archer over because that's all he's done? I want Cody to be the first one. I want Cody to be the first one to hold that title.
So he's the TNT champion.
That's what I want.
All right, very good.
You might as well call it the IC title. That's what I want. It's the mid Carter. It's going to be the workers.
Well, I would compare it more to the TV title, but it's the only other singles title they got. Yeah. It's the only other singles titles they got, and I really do. I think Cody. I think just for the company's health, it needs to be him. Everybody wants.
You can only do the deed so many times.
Yeah, and then eventually it's just going to be like everyone's just going to be like, okay, well, he's just going to, and it commendable as it is, we want to see him win.
How long is Lance Archer's contract? I mean, is he only here for a little while and then going back to Japan?
I think he can work both, can he?
He can work. Yeah, he's allowed to work both.
When does Japan have another season? I'm curious.
They don't know.
I mean,
locked down right
if
now.
Everything was normal, when would they have another season?
Oh, they would be doing house shows and stuff right now.
Yeah, it just depends. They book guys from the States differently.
Yeah. They only have like 4 or 5 major shows a year, but they're usually right close to each other towards the beginning of the year.
But you may get booked for a tour where you go do 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Everybody's different.
Yeah, maybe he just does the job at Derby instead and takes the rest of the tournament off. This is the best job ever.
Britt Baker, Hikaru Shida. I hated the fact that the crowd was holding somebody back. It's stupid. They did it twice.
That was stupid.
Night. But I love Jericho's comment. Who's Danny Jordan? He needs to mind his own business, that stupid idiot. And then Schiavone's like, he's a she.
Yeah. Dude, and I tell you,
you're gonna have to apologize for that.
That Enziguri that Britt took that busted her open, man. I mean, she was gushing. Dude, yeah, dude. I'll tell you what.
Made the match better.
It put her stock, it jacked her stock up.
Without a doubt. What was worse, that or when Cena took that broken nose that he took?
Cena was one of the worst.
Seth Rollins did that to him, I think.
Oh, yeah. That was nasty.
That was one of those moments
going on, baby.
Hurt a few guys though. Unfortunately, although he feels bad when people call that, like Bret Hart called him out. It's like he hurts guys and he calls his spots. I remember Bret called him out on the podcast and it hurts his feelings. Yeah.
Don't kill Sting next time,
dude.
That was not his fault. That
was already.
Now. Yeah, we know that now. But
I'm just joking around.
Yeah, that was like he was already that was just a slow degeneration that just took that was just the final icing on the cake for that.
That hadn't happened. They
probably should always have a submission backup.
Yeah,
right, Undertaker.
Yeah, he said something like if that had happened, they wouldn't have found it. And like, you would have died.
Yeah,
There's been times when that's happened before.
I didn't like the Britt Baker deal with I love the busted nose, but I didn't like when she went for her finisher. She's asking the referee for the glove because there's blood on her hand and she can't stick it in her mouth. Who does that? If you were in a
we're in
MMA fight,
Corona days now.
If you're in an MMA fight,
He's
you're not going to say, referee, I need some blood. Oh God, stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it. And that cost her the match. Theoretically, that cost her the match.
Yeah.
Whatever. Is Shida just getting built up for 10 straight weeks to be fed to Antonio's favorite wrestler?
Yeah.
I hope not, but I get the feeling. I get the feeling that's
what's coming.
Happen.
It's what's coming.
Which is, I think she's the one they should have put the belt on to begin with.
Me too, man. I love that girl.
And the fact that she's going to have to put Nyla over is like, man.
Everybody is, though. And they're just going to continue to build people up, feed them to Nyla, and then recycle.
Wait a minute. Speaking of Nyla Rose, am I the only one that
missing her?
Watching the spicy tweets that keep coming from Val Venus's Twitter?
Oh my!
Oh
God.
Jesus! Yes, you are.
Al is a man possessed. He's trying to get his Twitter permanently banned.
Yeah,
he wants attention, and he's getting it, man.
He's trying to get on an RT news network or something.
I mean, he got suspended on Facebook for posting, stuff about transgenders or whatever. He got
Val might want to be quiet.
Yeah,
or not, whatever. Or not.
And
it's a free country, right?
There's an interview. He just did an interview on Hannibal TV where he was responding because Cody Rhodes didn't like some of the things he had said about him. So
whoa.
Just
Brian
like
Caraway, did you see the interview with Brandy saying they didn't know Nyla was a dude?
I did see some of that.
What? That can
maybe when they signed the contract.
I bet she said it. She probably said she did not know she was a cis woman or whatever the hell.
Yeah, there's no way that's the word.
I'm sure she said it in a clean way because the dirt sheets would be burying her if not. She said it.
Yeah,
I'm sure, but yeah,
really?
He just used regular people talk.
Dude, when they signed her, they press release.
They made a big deal about it.
Yeah. And you knew they were going to put the name on her.
Sonny Kiss, they made a big deal out of Sonny Kiss because Sonny Kiss felt like he.
What's his deal?
That interview.
What's up with that guy?
What?
That interview
at the press conference, the first press conference, wasn't Sonny Kiss there? I'm pretty sure.
I don't even remember.
Yep.
They were making a bit. Hey, he's openly gay. Blah blah blah.
Oh, is that all?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no kind of thing. And then Jim Cornette had been very critical Sonny at what was it, Full House or whatever, one of the little show that they did.
Full House.
Whatever I can't
Whatever happened to predictability?
Yeah, well, whatever I can't remember. You know,
Milkman, the Paperboy, evening TV.
Yeah, there you go. Come on,
sorry, man.
Come on,
Can
man.
we go to NXT?
Whatever.
Yeah.
But Sonny Kiss was shaking his ass and stuff, and Jim Cornette didn't like it, and they called him a homophobe. And
well, real quick,
we got so much more to talk about on AEW, but why are we going so long tonight?
Yeah,
it must be my fault.
I know,
man. And we talked about black guys on WWE.
That's true.
Oh, damn. Yeah, we did kind of go off on that one.
Yeah,
we did. But
so then getting back on
it was an emotional, important episode of the Wrestling Council.
There's really not a lot to talk about on NXT. Just a couple of things. So
yeah,
2 things.
But I know this is completely off topic, but Boogie, when you make the little clip of this, I need you to find some slow emotional music and go, this week on the Wrestling Council.
Yeah, that was at 50 minutes.
Like Days of Our Lives.
Yeah, like
taking my easy clips.
Put a black and white filter over the friggin' video.
Very special wrestling.
I'll work on that one.
I dare put that shit up on Twitter, man, and we'll tweet it out. I think
which one do you want? The racist comments? I got to figure it out.
Oh, dude, yeah, I want.
Just make sure they know we're talking about Vince when we're saying that stuff.
No, they're going to label all 4 of us racist and say that all 4 of us hate black people. That's what they do.
Hey, Boogie, this is some good shit.
That's okay. We've got the people in the chat to defend us.
All I thought about was Bob when those puppets said that on the Fire Funhouse. Bob was the first guy I thought of.
I didn't realize rib on Vince for real. I didn't realize. Apparently, that the guys backstage, they, whenever Vince thinks something's cool, even when it's corny, like the Mae Young, Mae West, or whoever the hell giving
Mae Young.
Yeah,
this is some good shit. This is
yeah.
What Vince says when lame corny shit happens. It's like, oh man, this is great. And everybody else is like,
great.
It's horrible.
I don't know that there's a whole lot else to talk about on AEW other than Cody versus Shawn Spears, which I thought was great.
Excellent match.
I've got a problem with a straight up match using a guardrail, table, and my boy Sugar Dunkerton that I was trying to talk about last week.
I see.
That's who was holding Shawn Spears' arms back. But why are all these people getting involved and Aubrey's just letting it happen?
Well, she's not as good a senior official as she lets on to be.
She's no Rick Knox.
Wait a minute, and I want to.
Oh yeah, but the West Coast contingency is not yet the AEW.
This was something, he said, what about the BS about Goldberg using creative control to win the title? Because he looked at it as a superhero and couldn't lose to a fan. Well, from what I understood, they only brought Goldberg in for 2 matches.
2 matches.
Go down, and then he was supposed to put Roman Reigns over at WrestleMania. That's been widely reported. So he was only supposed to be there for 2 matches. Roman Reigns pulls out, and then he tries to stick Vince up, to keep the belt. He did not want a job to Braun Strowman. And
it's stupid. And his matches suck. Why are you paying that guy? I don't understand.
It has some kind of name cachet draw.
I guess it's a draw, yeah.
He looks like shit now, though. I mean, I used to love Goldberg.
Yeah.
Looks like shit, and he actually talks, when he talks about his old matches, he talks like he really won those matches, and it's weird.
Well, he sucked back in the day too, but it was right. It was like the Road Warriors. They didn't have great matches, but everybody loved them.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to check that one out. Okay.
Yeah, and as far as the whole thing with the guardrail and stuff like that, I think they just leave it in there because that's just the way things have always been.
Yeah, trying to keep it looking normal, the way it looks on
some kind of normalcy to it. I mean, I don't know.
No. I mean, using a guardrail, using a table.
Oh, you picking it up and using it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, yeah. Well, that's the thing is, are these supposed to be no DQ matches or what's going on?
Well, trying to sell it and say, oh, it's because there's so much on the line, they're letting it go. Blah, blah. That crap doesn't work with me, man. I don't like that. I don't like it.
That's like the whole thing with how the hell do you have a DQ in a Hell in the Cell match?
Yeah.
But and then I don't know, man. I thought the best friend match was weird.
Really?
Well, Nakazawa is not very good.
Yeah.
No.
Is Omega sleeping with him?
I think so.
What's going on?
You heard it here first. Breaking news.
Well,
Breaking news. I think that's the thing. Yeah.
I'm not saying that to insult him. I mean, he's bi or whatever.
I think that's for sure.
So-
how he represents himself.
Yul just confirms it. Yeah, that's it.
Yul's like,
No,
yeah,
I mean he has
got
come
nothing.
out and pretty much said that. Yes, I've heard this
Kenny
many
Omega
times.
is admitted that he's into men. So I mean, it is.
Yeah.
What it is. So I was like, is he banging this dude?
Japanese men.
Yeah, well,
He's giving
No,
him
dude,
love.
if he's with anybody, it's going to be Kota Ibushi,
Oh, okay.
because that's the guy that he was in the
Bob
tag
just
team with.
bringing
They're
it
called,
right
they're called
into
the
New
Golden
Japan.
Lovers.
Wow. Yeah, Bob can't stay away.
Yep.
yeah. I was like, yeah.
I was like, they're looking for a third. I'll come in.
Oh God, rub and tug, man.
Kota Ibushi's pretty.
Oh, there's the clip. There's the
He is a
clip.
very,
But I'm just
very
saying,
pretty man.
I did wonder because he's been there the whole time, and they just used him to get beat up. Remember, he got beat up by Pac, and the force. So you want this to keep happening, mate? You better agree. All this kind of thing, and he wasn't wrestling. I was like, is this dude ever gonna wrestle? I keep hearing how great he is from Bob, and I was like, Bob.
Wait, who? Wait, who do you keep hearing's great?
No, the Japanese dude. But he was never wrestling on the show.
Nakazawa?
Yeah.
All we've ever said is that he had a heart on that one match.
Yeah, dude. I never said he was great. I said he
I
was
didn't
weird.
I thought you said all the Japanese guys are amazing. So, I just assumed.
So,
So, well, like I said, I just kept
Putting words in your mouth. I got your back, Bob. It's
they
okay.
kept saying, he kept being there, and like Jim Ross or whoever would mention, oh, he's here, and he never wrestled. And I was like, who is this guy? And the only time he got beat up by Pac, and I was like, okay, whatever.
yeah,
And
I've always thought Nakazawa was weird.
so, like I said, is he banging Kenny Omega? Is that what's
Nah,
going on?
I don't think so.
Yul said he was.
We are best friends.
I said I wouldn't doubt it.
The best thing he did in that match was the double clothesline that he missed and legit popped Jericho. Jericho could not stop laughing.
Yeah.
But that match was awkward. We got 2 minutes to cover NXT.
All right.
Well,
NXT.
Women's ladder match. Great.
Io Shirai.
Yes, my
Loved
girl
it.
Io Shirai.
What
baby.
the heck? I thought she was leaving and she wins. Number
No,
one
she's there
contender.
to job to Charlotte, right?
Yeah, dude, probably.
That's what I would think.
But I
Like,
wouldn't
build it
think you
up
would
and
put
then-
her over if she was leaving.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
remember though that's Vince's input right there, man. Like,
It's a ladder match, so nobody really lost either.
Yeah.
So if you care about wins and losses and that type of thing, or if
I
you're
do.
talking-
AEW does.
Yeah,
yeah, they're the only ones that do.
I'll put it this
They even
way:
had a segment for it.
if Triple H had like final say in it, he probably would put the belt on Io, or he never would have taken the belt off of Rhea. But Vince, it's Vince. Ultimately, Vince's input, and Charlotte's like, yeah, give me the belt. So
give me the belt.
Antonio, did you watch NXT?
I watched the highlight clips of it. I've been kind of busy, so
This it was a good match, man. Mia Yim hit. They did. I shouldn't say it was. It was good. It wasn't.
It was a
great.
real good ladder match.
yeah,
They actually did some big stuff. A lot of times in women's ladder matches, they don't take the crazy risk bumps, but they took some big bumps. I enjoyed
Yeah.
it. Main event, match of the year.
Ciampa.
This, Antonio, is how you do cinematic wrestling.
it was pretty freaking amazing.
God, they
In
had
a
camera
wrestling
angles
ring.
from down below. Oh, it's so good.
Close-ups.
Oh.
And you're talking about a feud that has been building for years. And this is it. I love the fact that when Gargano walks in, Triple H is sitting in the ring waiting on him. And he comes in and he basically says, do whatever you guys want to do. I don't care.
I did hear.
Drake is here to count the three and decide who wins. Do whatever you want. Whoever walks out alive is the winner. And then he just leaves. And then they proceed to tell a story for 60 minutes. 60 minutes. What AJ and The Undertaker did at WrestleMania is, I would compare it to this without the buildup. You needed the buildup to go into a match like that. This is
I totally agree.
my favorite match of the year. I loved it.
And you would expect a match like this to be empty arena possibly anyway.
Yeah.
So it didn't feel out of place.
No.
The only thing, if I was going to bitch about something, why did the referee get on top of the truck? He had no business being there.
I guess in case he pinned him on top of the
Got to
truck.
be in the ring. It had to be in the ring. That's what Triple H said. You can do anything you want, but it has to be
I
a 3
know.
count in the ring. And when you do, this shit's over.
Yeah. The only complaint, and this is nitpicking, is I would say I felt it was maybe a little too long.
It was an hour.
Yeah.
So yeah,
with commercials, I appreciated it that way.
Yeah, but the way it was shot, you know, and the way that they put it together, yeah, it worked. You know, if you're gonna do a cinematic wrestling match like that, that's the way to do it.
It felt like one of those, like The Wrestler or something like that.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, let's go old school, right?
Yeah.
The fact that it was in the ring, and I made my wife, I was like, watch this. I was like, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you watch it? She sat there for a few minutes. She's like, this is great. I asked her the same question on the Undertaker match. She was like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
Oh, wow. She hated it too.
Like, and that's an outsider. I shouldn't say outsider because she used to go to Raw with me. She used to watch wrestling back in the Attitude Era. She loves wrestling. She was in the front row.
Like your attitude, Boogie.
She was in the front row, pregnant with our daughter when I almost dropped a ladder on her in a ladder match. The ladder match I told you guys about with Kid Cash. Yeah. She knows wrestling. Loved it. Loved this match.
Well,
yeah, me too. I really did.
Amazing. So I am planning on watching the
entire
thing.
You'll dig it.
I think you'll like it.
You think because we're talking about it, Candice LeRae gets involved, and what she does, you're like, man, that sucked. But you can kind of understand why she's doing it. She wants this thing to be over. And then the other thing that occurs, wow.
The whole thing.
I don't want to blow it for Antonio.
I don't want to spoil it for Antonio either. But the first thing that happens, and you're like, oh man, it's like you said, I get it. What storytelling? And then the reaction to that is like the two guys are like,
God,
maybe she's right. Maybe she's right. And they're just both there on their knees, like, maybe she's right. And then just,
like the best wrestling match where you're like, God, if there could just be a little bit of something special to it. It is already the greatest match I've ever seen. But it's got like that little extra something, and this for me did. This is
my match of the year, and the Young Bucks versus Omega and Page is number 2 right now.
All right. And we should probably watch a few New Japan matches.
And Twisted Savage. Twisted Savage, I agree with you. I do think it was long. I think they definitely could have trimmed this thing down. But I think it was just the way it was shot really well, and I thought the same thing about the Edge Orton match. I thought it was a good match. It was just too long.
Antonio, can you give Brian Caraway a wrench? Is that too hard right now?
But no. Edge and Orton is a long feud from so long ago, but they weren't feuding any time during that part. So I think the length of it really hurt that match. Whereas this one, these guys.
They've been fighting
really feuding for like 2 years, basically.
Yeah.
And then they had all that same Edge and Orton type history to precede it, whereas Edge and Orton didn't. He hit his wife, and that was cool. But
No, I think I actually liked both matches overall. I think I liked this one a little bit better than the Edge Orton match for the reasons that you said, Yul. And but I do think that they were both long.
Yeah.
This was long. The commercials broke it up a little bit, though.
Yeah, they did.
But it was an hour. It was an hour with the commercial breaks.
Yeah, it was long.
Classic, you have a wrench now, so if you want to post links in the future, you can do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I say they did go too long. And as opposed to my hating plunder matches, this plunder match was better. And again, it was earned. It was something. It was a culmination of something we've sat through for a long time, and it's understandable why these guys want to fuck each other up so bad, know. And again, the Edge Orton thing. It was, I don't know, man.
And
there's history there, but it's just different history.
It's so buried, that.
And this is two guys. And the other thing that should be mentioned is that these are two guys that are at the top of their game.
Yeah.
They were in their prime, and it was good.
I feel that like they did a really good job with the Undertaker match. They did a good conceptual job with the Firefly Funhouse match, and then this was. You don't think conceptually that was good?
No.
Okay. And
That's a
then
promo.
this
That's a
one was
promo
kind
to
of
lead you to
like
the match.
both. It was taking like artistic elements and then the filming and then the actual wrestling aspect, and it was like perfecting those two matches better
It's
I
than the
almost like they
think this-
WrestleMania
learned.
matches were.
I think this and the Undertaker match were both perfection.
Mhm.
I just didn't think they built up that Undertaker match enough.
Yeah.
The more I've looked back on it, the more I like that Undertaker. I think it's probably the Bray Wyatt match that made me realize the Undertaker match was pretty good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I just
think-
wish they had built to it better.
And
I'm
I-
expecting a wrestling match, and all of a sudden we're in a graveyard with WWE films. That threw me off, man.
I think that they
And the
reason why
soundtrack.
this was as good as it was is that doing those other ones, they kind of learned some things from it. And
Sure,
I think that because this is the third match that was kind of in that vein. So I think they're figuring things out, and they're like, because like you said, a lot of the camera shots in this thing were fantastic.
And who was involved
man,
with
they
the two
were-
good ones? Who was involved?
NXT.
Triple H.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
The future of wrestling. Give him the book, Vince, and
Give
get
it
out
to
here.
him.
Yeah.
Come on already. It's
Take us
time.
home, Antonio. Take us home.
Disown your
Well,
son.
I do
Hi,
need
Fran.
Triple H to impregnate Stephanie again. I do need that to happen.
And I need you to back Brand Way of the Gun.
Thank you, Neil.
At
Indiegogo.
you go to partypress.com, it'll take you right there to Brand Way of the Gun. That would be awesome.
No
Obviously,
Vince McMahon
catch
there.
us. Oh, God damn it, I'm trying to close this out. Shut up.
Jules racist.
All right.
He's trying to cut you off.
It wasn't me
Okay.
this week. It wasn't me.
Yeah, I'm like, come on, man. All right.
Every week, somebody.
Obviously, you can catch us next week at this same time, but we will be on the S&B network, my man Boogie Bentley. This will be the 30th episode of
Oh
the
my
Wrestling
gosh.
Council next week. So it will be a special episode. Please join us there. We have enjoyed bringing you these podcasts each and every
Share
week
it.
and watching these broadcasts grow. We certainly appreciate you guys hanging out with us and chatting each and every week and arguing about wrestling. For Boogie Bentley, Yule Carter, Comic Book Bob, I am Antonio Bryce. Flat Earth, it's real.